Good day, everyone. I'm Camila Abraham Lucero, a second-year criminology student, Section A. Today, I will be discussing the lessons of Module 3 in Institutional Correction. But before anything else, first is I need to read my presentation before I gave my word of discussion. So let's start with the lessons of Module 3. So we have the institutional agency in the Philippines, the Code of Kalanchao, Bilibid Prison, San Ramon Prison and Penal Farm, Iwahig Penal Colony, Correctional Institution for Women or CIW, and we have the new Bilibid Prison, Davao Penal Colony, Sablayan Penal Farm, Leyte Regional Prison, Provincial Jail System, and lastly, we have the Public Attorney's Office or PAO. So let's start with the institutional agency in the Philippines. So these following institutional agency are just some of the agency in the Philippines under Bucor. So we have the Department of Justice or DOJ. Second, we have the DILG or the Department of Interior and Local Government. Lastly is we have the DSWD or the Department of Social Welfare and Development. First, let's get to the DOJ. So what is Department of Justice? So the Department of Justice is under the executive department of the Philippine government responsible for upholding the rule of law in the Philippines. So DOJ is under the executive department of the Philippine government in which it is responsible in upholding rules and regulations of law in the Philippines. The DOJ is the one who administers this law to be established. So the Department of Justice or DOJ acts as the principal law agency and legal counsel of the government. It serves as the government's prosecution arm and administers the government criminal justice system by investigating crime, prosecuting offenders, and overseeing the correctional system. The DOJ is the principal law and legal counsel of the government. DOJ also stands for the prosecution arm of the government. This is where how they process the the prosecuting of offenders and investigating crimes. The following agency are attached to DOJ. We have first the Bureau of Corrections, National Bureau of Investigation, Public Attorney's Office, the Parole and Probation Administration. So in definition, the Bureau of Corrections is an agency under the Department of Justice that is charged with custody and rehabilitation of national offenders, that is those sentenced to serve a term of imprisonment of more than 3 years. So under Bucor, they take charge of those national offenders who are sentenced to more than 3 years, in which they are charged to rehabilitate these prisoners. Next is the National Bureau of Investigation or the NBI. It undertakes the efficient detection and investigation of crimes and other offenses against Philippine law. The NBI, these are the personnel who will investigate and detects crime in the Philippine law. It also acts as the national clearinghouse of criminal and other information for the use of all prosecuting and law enforcement entities of the Philippines. The Public Attorney's Office or the PAO. The principal law office of the government in exceeding free legal assistance to indigent persons in criminal, civil, labor, and administrative and other quasi-judicial cases. So POW is the one who gives free legal counsel to those person, especially those indigent person who cannot afford to have an attorney with them during the court trial. It helps those individuals to have a person with them, especially attorney, in order to process their cases, whether in criminal or civil. The parole and probation and administration. The parole and probation administration is responsible for providing a less costly alternative of imprisonment of first-time offenders who are likely to respond to an individualized community-based treatment program. So, parole and probation administration, this is where those first offenders, they will be released to prison and bring them back into community. Now we have the DILG. So what is Department of Interior and Local what is Department of Interior and Local Government? So the Department of Interior and Local Government, or DILG, is the executive department and responsible for promoting peace and order, ensuring public safety, and strengthening the capability of local government units to effectively deliver basic services to the citizenry. So the DILG is responsible for promoting peace and order within a community. It is where they ensure the safety and security of every individual living on that specific community. Now, we have the following agencies these following agencies are attached to the Department of Interior and Local Government. So we have the Bureau of Fire Protection, or BFP, Bureau of Jail Management and Penology, or BJMP, and lastly we have the Philippine National Police, or PNP. Before I proceed on my discussion, I want you to know that these are just some of the attached agency of the DOJ, DILG, and the DSWD. There are still some of the agencies attached to it, but I just select among one of them. So, okay, let's proceed. So the BFP, or the Bureau of Fire Protection, is responsible for ensuring public safety through prevention and or suppression of all destructive fires or on buildings, houses, and other similar structures. The BFP is responsible for taking good care and securing the safety of every individual and to prevent fire from exploding more on a specific buildings or houses or any other structures. Okay, so we have the BJMP is mandated to direct, supervise, and control the administration and operation of all district, city, and municipal jails nationwide with prompt tasks of safekeeping and development of inmates. So the BJMP is mandated to supervise and controls the administration and operations in all district and city and municipality jail. Now we have last is the PNP. So the PNP is tasked with enforcing law enforcing law and control crimes, maintain peace and order, and ensure public safety and internal security with the active support of the community. So the PNP or the PNP personnel are the ones who is responsible in taking good care of those citizens in a specific country in order to keep the peace and order and security of every individual. They are the one who is tasked to enforce the law, and there should be a police and community-based relationship in order to reach this goal of crime prevention, as well as following the rules and regulations that is being implemented. So PFP is responsible in taking good care of every individual and to prolong or stop fire from happening. BGMP is the one who is supervising and controlling the administration of all district jails, city, and also municipality. They are also tasked in safekeeping and the development of the inmates. The PNP is the one who is tasked to enforce these laws that is being established and administered by the Department of Justice. Lastly is we have the DSWD, or the Department of Social Welfare and Development. So what is Department of Social Welfare and Development? It is the primary government agency mandated to develop, implement, and coordinate social protection and poverty reduction solutions for and with the poor, vulnerable, and disadvantaged. Through this agency, it helps those individuals, especially those who are struggling in a poor state situation. They give government government council assistance, especially when it comes to monetary, and they also help those kids who or children who are being physically abused by their parents. They are the one who take good care of them. So these are the following institutional agency in the Philippines. We have the DOJ, DILG, and the DSWD that plays a significant role in the Philippines government, because this agency have contributed meaningful well in different aspects, because this specific agency has its own role and how they will manage and how they will help people in a specific country. So the DOJ are the ones who establish or ensuring that laws are being implemented. The DILG is the one who ensures the safety and security within a specific community. The DSWD gives legal assistance to those who are struggling in poor situation. So that's all for this first video about the institutional agency in the Philippines.